to the next slide and see if we come up with some other ideas. So in this slide, I will ask you to rank. These are some of my ideas, what makes a math class creative. So rank them from first to the seventh. So the most important one, according to your opinion, should be the first one, or the ones that you use yourself most often, and then we will see together what we come up with. Okay, so the first position is for using materials of different types, so sensory, digital, books, etc. Giving students space for their own approach, relaxed atmosphere, use of other tools of maturity, being inspired by, oh, so it's still changing, okay. So I guess still changing, okay. Maybe wait for a few more moments. I think that we were waiting for two more, but I guess the relaxed atmosphere is at the top. And then giving students space for their own approach, which is what we were talking about before. And then the use of other tools of maturity. If anybody of you has any other suggestions that I didn't include, you can maybe say them now. We can talk them. We have 2 more minutes, I think, and then we have the closing session.
I chose other tools of maturity for pretty high up, and I guess there's just some things I think that I found have been essential. And the first one is opening with discussions. I just didn't see that here. I guess like opening with discussion on the purpose of studying math, because if students, well, right now students, it seems in this age, are lacking a sense of meaning and purpose, and as much as we can bring that into their lives, that actually motivates them to a great deal. So I've had students flip from hating math to being really interested within a day of just talking to me about, what is at the heart of math and why do we do it. And then the other thing I was thinking, and this might be related to using materials of different types, but I don't know. I think that the teaching should as much as possible be very visual, and so that students get not just visual, but getting insights into math on all different levels. You have the direct insight that you can develop through visual intuition. You have kinesthetic intuition that you develop through drawing, lots of drawing. I find that extremely important. So you can start to feel how you can transform mathematical objects, and then connecting every single equation with meaning as much as you can, so that the equations don't become symbols that you're just manipulating, but they have meaning. So I guess when I say, I don't know, my idea of other tools of maturity when I clicked it was putting meaning as much as possible into the studies.
Of course. Okay.
I'd just like to add what's, I have to put this in there at some point, what's most important to me, because I do all this mental math training. And to me, what really comes out of it more than anything is the experience, to give kids an experience of what it's like to be that focused and that concentrated, and how much joy you can get out of your mind and your, getting to that level. And everybody can do it. And mental math to me is one of the best tools of experiencing that. I've had so many kids when they started saying, I can't do that. That's too fast. I can't do that. But once they've done it for a while, they're amazed at what they're capable of doing. And I've given demonstrations with kids in my class to other places at Ananda, and just experiencing it. That's the most important thing. Experiencing the joy of it, and of course it just carries over. To me, it's the most important thing you can teach in math from grade school all through high school. They're working with numbers, and their understanding of numbers is not good. Place value, decimals, fractions, everything about numbers. It's the basis of math all through high school, and it's a big weakness in most students. And through exercises, they can improve so much and experience how fun it is. So that's always been an important thing for me. A focus for what I've done. Like I said, problem solving and mental math has been my focus.
Okay, thanks. Vasco, you, and then I think we'll have to finish.
Yeah, and I think that I've put the games and activities pretty high as well, and I think that I agree with what Nishtan you just said, and I do have, although I do have a small challenge with making math an experience, because in my opinion, math is one of the subjects that is on one extreme of the tools of the maturity, which calls forth the mind in the first place most of the time, and the abstract part of thinking, the really certain ways of thinking that not if we take a look at the kids as a whole, they would be divided in the 25% of the mind-orientated kids, 25% will-orientated, and so on. Okay, the body and what it means, the will. Emotions. Yeah, thank you. And so it's unlike any other subject, for example, geography, when you can incorporate the mind into it, you can incorporate the feeling with the will as well, and the body. I think that you can incorporate the other tools of maturity easier into the math. Into the other subjects than the math, or just could be my personal issue, and I find it quite challenging to present some concepts, especially higher up the tiers, the grades, the knowledge levels, that they are more extreme, and how you would make this an experience, and how would you give them the activity that would encourage the way of thinking that you would want them to engage to. So that's more of a question, if I may say so.
Then I'd like to comment on that.
Well, Nishtan, I guess, was directly asked that. So, but
it's not easy, yeah, but it is possible. Kasper.
His name is Vasco, but the
My name is Vasco, but I'm using my friend's account. So sorry, I changed my name previously. Now that I re-entered, I will do it now again.
Yeah, it depends obviously on the level that you are teaching, but previously we were speaking, for instance, about equations. How is it possible to make this subject an experience? That would be a question. I personally use, I can show to you, just give me just 1 second. Oh, can you see? You know this tool?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and then you can play with that. Just you put some box with the X value that you don't know. You can put 2 boxes here, 3 here. So here you have X.
Mm-hmm. I've done this in the past. That's a great thing. I'm talking of like even higher points, for example, like roots or integrals and stuff, for example.
Well,
integrals, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe just let's say roots, squares, and stuff. How you would like approach this into like a game or an experience, like a fun activity.
When you say experience, it sounds like you're focusing primarily on, I don't know exactly what, I guess maybe I look at it a little bit more flexibly. For example, when I'm teaching calculus, I'm really emphasizing getting an intuitive understanding of it. And I think the intuition is ultimately, I mean, we can call it intellect or we can call it feeling, but, you know, trying to, so that you're really seeing it as much as possible. They're drawing pictures for everything they're doing. And so it becomes, you know, perhaps we're just dividing it up. I don't know. When I start with teaching with all the students, it always begins with, you know, the purpose of math is joy. That's the main purpose. That's the main reason why it's so great. And it's joyful because every time you understand something, you get that spark inside of you. Every time that happens. And that's an intellectual thing, I guess, but it's also a feeling thing. You feel how good it is for your intellect to develop. And I was just reading something recently. Just like the natural development of the intellect being about the evolution of being the same as human evolution of consciousness. This is what Yogananda talks about at some point. And just that feeling, like, and you know, Swami talks about how we're guided by our feelings. So that feeling of the development of our intellect is what is ultimately going to motivate students. And I'm just having students who are jumping up and down in joy over proofs. It's like, it's a little bit unbelievable. I didn't know that it would happen, but but it doesn't have to be, it can be as advanced as going through proofs and focusing on the understanding and developing the love for it. And also I have students who I'm working with on drawing just straight lines and counting by threes. And Nishna was talking about that satisfaction of being able to do these kind of just basic operations, but doing them well. It builds confidence, and that feeling is what's going to drive them to want to learn more ultimately, that feeling of success. So, I mean, I don't think, but you're right. I mean, ultimately, not all the students are going to be learning calculus. You know, there's only going to be a couple. But if we can carry that throughout, anyways, but this is now, we're over time, sorry.
It's okay. Maybe I just wanted to share something that I did with the first grade in the high school. Roots. So there are these kids are in an art school. Basically, it's an art high school, and we were doing roots, and we drew this. It's a seashell. What's it called? And you get all the roots when you're drawing it in this kind of process. So you draw. I don't know if this is the correct one, but you draw a triangle, a right angle triangle with the one side is 1 and then one side here is 1, and then you get the square root 2. And then you draw another right angle triangle on the last hypotenuse with the one side which is equal to 1, and then you get the next square root, which is square root of 3, and so on. And they got a sense of where the square roots come from. And they had this artistic way of getting to know those numbers. This is one example, maybe.
Nice.
Okay, so I think we'll have to stop now. The discussion was, I think, very nice with lots of ideas. If you're okay with this, I would like to share you the results of the slides, and maybe a couple of things that I wrote down during the discussions, if that's okay. And now I would like to ask you to log off and then join the end session, and hope to see you there.
Thank you, Renata.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.